Alright guys, llamapen here today to talk about a few players that I can't build for my custom NHL build series. If you haven't watched my custom NHL builds videos, that's my series where I make EASHL player builds based off of NHL players. So I've built guys like Nikita Kucherov, Ryan Reeves, Claude Giroux, and a bunch of others. And while it's been fun working within the limitations of the class and trait system in NHL 19 and 20 to create some of my favorite players and some of the players you guys have requested, those limitations are also what make a few NHLers either too hard to build in EASHL or literally impossible. Our first player, Connor McDavid, falls into the category of too hard to build. You can make a playmaker build at 6'1", 193 pounds, but McDavid is simply just too good at too many things. His shot, and more specifically his skating, are too difficult to replicate in this game. The only way to really get that McDavid speed I've found is to just be really tiny. 6'1", 193 pounds isn't huge, but it's definitely a lot bigger than most speedy builds in this game. Unless everyone runs the enforcer build, you're just never going to be the fastest skater on the ice. The highest you can get his acceleration with quick first step 2 as your primary trait is 88, and remember that dings the agility down to 82. His speed absolutely maxes out at 84 no matter what you tinker with, and even if you throw absolutely everything into the skating, your shot's still going to be below average, and let's remember, McDavid was on pace for his third 40-goal season in a row. Bottom line though, if you can't make a fast McDavid build, then why make a McDavid build at all? This next player, Vladimir Tarasenko, falls into the category of just impossible to build. I'm a Blues fan, so believe me, I tried to make Tarasenko. It was one of the first things I tried to build when I started this series. He's got that standout skill with his wrist shot, but at 6 feet, 225 pounds, he's just way too beefy to build as a sniper. Fun fact, Tarasenko's 6'6" tall teammate Colton Parayko only weighs 5 pounds more than the Russian sniper. My second thought was to build Tarasenko as a power forward like I did with Ovechkin, but at 6 feet tall he's just too short to build as a power forward, so that rules out my dad, Vlad Tarasenko. The next few players I'm kind of grouping together here since they're all very large, very offensively gifted defensemen. So Victor Hedman, Dougie Hamilton, and Dustin Byfuglien are the three that come to mind for me here. They're all over 6'5", which is significant because 6'5" is the absolute tallest that you can make a player as the two-way defenseman build. So that just leaves the enforcer defenseman, the enforcer class, and the defensive defenseman as options for these players. What's unfortunate here, obviously, is the defensive defenseman has the most offensive upside of these three, and its passing, shooting, and skating with players this size are really, really bad. It'd be one thing if these skills were even average with these player classes, but they're well below average, and it just wouldn't feel right if I built Norris Trophy winning Victor Hedman, 70-point getting D-man, and could only get his slapper accuracy to 80. 6'5" is the absolute largest you can make a two-way defenseman, like I said, so luckily that doesn't rule out a potential Brent Burns build. I also got, I think, one single request for a Nathan Gerbe build, so I'm going to quickly rule that one out, since the absolute smallest you can get a player in EASHL is 5'7", 160 pounds. At 5'4", 176 pounds, you can't even get close to making a player like Gerbe. I've also tinkered around with the idea of building an NHL netminder for EASHL, and if I end up doing that, Ben Bishop is unfortunately not going to be an option. Bishop is 6'7" feet tall and 215 pounds, and the largest you can make a goalie in this game is 6'5" and 220 pounds. Last but not least is a player that I could build, but have chosen not to because of my allegiance to my team. Like I said earlier, I'm a Blues fan, so despite the numerous requests I've gotten to build Patrick Kane, I have to refuse. It's nothing personal. When it comes down to it, I have nothing but the utmost admiration for Patrick Kane as a hockey player and as a person. Sure, I like the Blues and maybe you like the Hawks, but at the end of the day, I think we can all be adults and sit back and appreciate what Kane has contributed to the sport and to the community. Remember, guys, There's nothing wrong with a little sports rivalry, just as long as everyone is respectful and mature. I hope you understand, I'm not trying to be petty, I'm just trying to support my team in the most courteous way possible. I hope Hawks fans and myself can continue to enjoy this heated, yet civil and cultivated rivalry. And I just want to say, I think now, more than ever, just with everything that's going on in the world, it's important for us to set aside the little things like what logo you wear on your sweater and come together as a one. You know, I got plenty of friends from Chicago, some of them are Hawks fans, Cubs fans, etc., and we really have no problem at all treating each other just with dignity. Because underneath that sweater, we're really all the same. You know, people get so caught up with silly things like 20 cents change after a cab ride when you're a multimillionaire, or who allegedly choked what woman at a frat party, when really we're all the same. We're all members of the human race. Oh, and if you're really dying for a Patrick Kane build for EASHL, this guy the Mighty Slayer made a Kane build several months ago for NHL 20, which I'll leave a link for in the description box. Anyway, those are just some of the main builds that I can't or won't build. Keep throwing these requests my way, and maybe if I can, I'll build them in one of my future videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.